When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We've all heard that, right? It's so true. Look, this is part of the Success Planning Method series. It's a 5-part series. This is part 2. If you haven't listened to part 1, which was visioning, please press pause and go back and listen to that. This is the exact planning model that I share with my clients, with people who are on PGA tours, people who are in top sports teams, people who are running organizations, and people who just want to get more out of life. So I want to share this with you in detail. So this planning stage, if you start to plan, please always do this one thing. Plan with the end in mind. Stephen Covey said it really well. Start with the end in mind. And that's, we got to look at our 5-year vision, which we did. We did that together in our first session. So rewind and do that if you haven't done it, because everything hinges on the end game, right? Great performers don't start with what's this first step. They start with, where do I want to end up? So I hope you're really clear over that next 5-year period where you want to end up. What's your North Star? So let's take it back now to your 12-month game plan. I like to have a 12-month game plan for myself, for my business, for my health. To me, that's just so important. Having it for your family, if you've got family, really, really important. So we know where we're headed. So what I'm going to do now is ask you to go look at your 5-year vision and go, okay, if I was to step back and just take a fifth of a step forward, that's 1 year forward, where might I end up? And you'd be surprised what you can achieve in a year. Most of us underestimate that. We can achieve so much in a 12-month period. So all I want you to do is take a moment and go, okay, what are the key outcomes that I want to achieve this year? What would be remarkable? But do it across several pillars of your life. Don't just do it across business or wealth. Do it across several things. So one, personally, let's start with that. In a year, where are you going to be? A great way to do this is go, okay, in 12 months from now, if I was to say to myself, this has been the most epic year of my life, what would have to happen in the next 12 months for me to say that with that much passion and that much excitement? What is that for you? Take a moment, press pause if you have to, but identify what would have to happen in your personal life. And that could encompass your physical health. Have you got any physical health goals around how you want to feel, look, move? Let's take a moment and get clear on that. Relationships. Where would you like your key relationships to be with family and friends? If you've got an intimate partner, where might that be? I want you to take a moment and just get clear on, in a year, success would be ABC, whatever it might be. But take a moment to get excited about the growth of your relationships. And here's something I want you to think about. The quality and depth of your relationships directly reflects the quality and depth of your life. That's just a fact. Relationships give us fuel. When we're having a tough time with other humans, we tend to feel it. Our emotions reflect it. So having a plan for growing those relationships is so important. Financially, what's your 12-month game plan financially? When you look at that bank balance or you look at your assets and what you own, what is that going to look like in 12 months? A lot can be done in that time, but pick a number. So in exactly 12 months' time, I want to be at that number in terms of savings, investments, paying debt off, whatever it might be, right? Get clear on what that looks like. Career. In 12 months' time, I want to be here. If you're watching this, it's because you're growth-minded. If you're watching this, it's because you want to develop your leadership. If you're watching this, you don't want to be in the same place now that you were a year ago. You just don't. You're growth-minded. So I'm challenging you now. What does a year down the track look like for you professionally? And that pertains to the 5-year vision that you've done. We've got to think with the end in mind. Now we're bringing it back to 12 months. But 12 months from now, that's the end of your 12-month game plan. So I want you to think in those key pillars, and there'll be other pillars that you'll want to add in. Relationships, finance, personal growth. All of these things are so, so important. But I want you to actually put it down on paper. Why? You're making a commitment. When you're writing things down, you make a commitment. I had a friend who was 30 years old. He just paid his rent every month. He just paid for his groceries every month. And he spent a lot of time drinking alcohol and smoking weed. Not good, right? But at 30 years of age, he decided, you know what? I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to have a publishing company. Now, he'd never published a book, he'd never ran a business, and he had very little money. I think $28,000 was the amount that he had earned at his highest ever earning for a year, right? But within a year and a bit, he'd made $1 million and he'd started a publishing company. That publishing company is now one of the world's biggest ones. New World Library. It publishes books for Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, and the likes. So Mark Allen, who I'm talking about, decided to make a plan. You've got to commit to it. Putting it down on paper, when you write on that page, it reinforces at a subconscious level what you're moving towards, what you want your reticular activating system to move you towards. That RAS, that RAS, it's an internal filtering system that filters out and deletes all the noise and only hones in on what you want. So you got to get clear on what you want. That's so important. Start with the end in mind. I'm super excited to get even more granular and get down to the next step for you in our next episode. But I really hope you've taken the time, especially at this time of year, to do this work. 5-year vision was our last session in visioning. This was our 12-month game plan, which I just call planning. Before we go to planning, we've got to do visioning. So take a moment to do the work. I promise you, you will thank yourself for doing the work. Just want to say a huge thank you for tuning in again. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit subscribe. If you're listening to this on any channels and you feel like this would be valuable, share it with one friend. But for now, please get out there and lead your life on purpose. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the content today, please smash that subscribe button below. And if you want to become part of my community, I've got an amazing free Facebook group. Please come and join us. The link is in the description below. And also, if you've got any questions about today's session, I'd love to know. Just comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Have the most amazing day.